Welcome, everyone. It's Friday, and welcome to our Samurai 50 series. The purpose of our series is to introduce you each week to our community and to outstanding individuals, live from our StyleLabs headquarters. And then we rebroadcast on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So this is me at my home office, and our guest is actually at StyleLabs headquarters in my office. So we're switching here, but regardless, we have a fabulous guest to bring you today, and I'm really excited. And we're thrilled to have Kareem Elkassem join us on Samurai 50. And Kareem is a stylist and co-owner, manager, and educator at Dolce Salon. And Dolce Salon is here in Calgary in Market Mall, if you don't know where it is. Worth checking out. And I'll be coming for a visit, I think, very soon because it's going to be spring, summer, and who doesn't want a fabulous update in the spring and the summer? So we're going to talk about Kareem's business, and this is unique because it's rare. It's a family-owned business. So welcome to the platform, Kareem.
Thank you, Leanne. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, and it's rare. We talked a little bit yesterday. I always like to talk to people ahead of time just to kind of get a feel for some of the things we're going to talk about. And as we were talking, I thought, wow, I'm trying to think, go through the Rolodex of who I even know that has a family-owned business anymore. I mean, how rare is this?
Yeah, I mean, they're few and far between, and I think it's pretty special to still be able to thrive in the marketplace as a family-run business. So yeah, it's pretty special.
Yeah, good. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. So let's go to the beginning of the journey of your business, your decision to go into the hairstylist and the beauty industry. How did that start for you?
It started about 8 or 9 years ago or thereabouts. And at the time I was a student at Mount Royal College. I was working 2 jobs and still living at home with mom and dad. And I didn't have a clear direction of what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to work for myself. From as early as I can remember, I always knew I wanted to own a business. And at that time, my mom had kind of whispered in my ear, like, "Hey, maybe you should try hairstyling. Like, it's been a lifelong career for your dad and and I think you would be pretty good at it too." So she kind of left that idea up on the shelf for me, and along came an opportunity for mom and dad. At that time, they were working in separate places. My dad had a salon on 14th Street, a little 3-4 chair salon. And my mom was a stylist at a salon in Brentwood. And for a portion of that time, she was also a managing partner at that salon. So they decided to try something new, try something different. And when this opportunity came along, Dolce had already been in business for about, I think, 6 years at the time. And the owners at the time, I think, were ready to move on to new adventures on their own. And so they were looking for the right candidates to take over their baby. And so I remember going to the initial meeting with mom and dad and checking the space out, and we thought, wow, like, what a great opportunity. This is a huge operation. The salon at that time was, I think, about 20 chairs.
Wow, that's big.
Yeah, pretty big workload ahead of us. And I think the biggest contingency at that time was, it's going to take all 3 of us to tackle this, because if we decide to do it on our own, or one person to do it, it would be very difficult. And for mom and dad, having to take a risk so late in their career was a pretty bold move on their part. So I'm very fortunate to have that opportunity to sort of shadow them and sort of be a part of such a good opportunity. Yeah.
Yeah. No, and it takes some real trust and belief and faith. And I guess, you know, you have some of that at that really, really young age, but it's also a level of comfort, right? Being able to be directly with your family. It can also be sometimes a source of what's the word I'm looking for? Like conflict, right, with your family. So running a family business is very different. The dynamic is very different than going into it with people you obviously don't know your whole life and trust the way you do your parents.
Mhm. Yeah, I can touch on that a bit. If you're looking for a business partner, it's an incredibly difficult task because you're trying to find someone that you trust, trying to find
Yeah.
someone you can depend on, and uh, for us, it just made sense. We're already very close family, so um, we didn't know we were going to get whole lot closer, but
Mhm.
that's one of the challenges and one of the things that we face as a family in the first couple of years.
Yeah.
We were always on the clock, and I'm having my breakfast at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or whatever, and I'm getting a debriefing of what happened the day before, what happened
Right. Yeah.
the night before, and I'm like, oh, okay, and like it's so setting boundaries was definitely a challenge in the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. And also the I would imagine the level of I mean, there's just so much riding on it when it's your entire family is in this basket now. You're all working together on this one thing. It's not like you have you know, a, an exit really. Like you've committed to do this together. So I can see how that can be even I can see how it can be great, but also stress, you know, more pressure, more stress. Hmm. So tell us about some of the challenges you had to overcome in the beginning, and then I guess you know how that what that looks like now. Like, what were those challenges, and how did you, as a family business, get through some of those?
Yeah, so um, in the beginning, in the beginning and throughout the journey, you want this thing to be successful so bad that you tend to put a lot of things off to the side. So like I don't think we took a holiday for the first
Mhm.
5 years, and if we did, it was like 3 days away. And so touching back on what I said earlier, the work-life balance was a real struggle, and you sort of forget that if you are taking care of yourself, you can take care of other people. And so that starts to get sidelined a bit if you're just focusing on the business, and a lot of
Yeah.
the times the business ends up running you instead of you running your business. So those are some challenges. We're getting better at it. We're about 9 years into it now, and we still have new challenges every day, but at least we're not talking about work um, at every Sunday dinner. So
Yeah.
we're able to set those boundaries.
Yeah, that's nice. And
Yeah,
so are mom and dad still very involved in the business day to day?
yeah, definitely. So my mom and I both work behind the chair full time. My dad also is a stylist as well, but he's slowing down a little bit. Um, he's had his clientele for the last 20 or 30 years, and so people move on, and he's he's very happy-go-lucky, and he likes
Mhm.
his people, and he certainly does like meeting new people, but he knows what he's good at, and some of those trends are very um, older trends or earlier trends,
Yeah.
and sometimes it's a little bit difficult to get that
Yeah.
reform, or get him to do something new behind the chair. I think on the business side, he's he's very adaptable, but behind the chair, he just wants to see his people, and that's
Yeah.
a great thing too. I mean, I look at him and I love that he has that consistency, and he has that routine, and yeah, it makes me happy. I don't want to disturb that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sort of picturing that as you're describing it, and it sounds pretty special. So how has the pandemic affected, you know, your business overall? And, you know, what were the changes immediately? And on the flip side of that, what were the opportunities, if any, that have come out of it?
Yeah, the pandemic. I think
Mhm.
businesses have faced the same challenges.
I mean, your industry was certainly hit just like bam.
Yeah, I
Really.
remember I think it was in and around March, and I could see the mall traffic
Mhm.
decline, and
Mhm.
that was alarming. And there was a level of fear and uncertainty of, what's this thing? What's going on? We're getting um, releases from the media. We're getting releases from the government, and there's not a whole lot of direction. So I think any business prepares to face a storm, but very few are ready to face a tsunami. And I think in many ways that was the pandemic for us and a lot of businesses. Um, the initial challenges um, were, how are we going to continue to pay our rent, honor
Mhm.
our, continue paying salaries because we were still staying open um, for as business was on the decline. We still remained open. We still have people on hourly wages, um, and so those are some of our overhead costs. And so we had to kind of make a plan and figure out a way to get out of it. And
Sure. I mean, there's only so long you can go on with this disproportionate, you know, hourly wages and
and and, and in terms of income, I think uh, uh, unemployment insurance covers a percentage of your average salary. And so we as stylists, we work on commission base. Most salons work on commission base, and some have chair rental, but we're a commission salon. And so employment insurance traditionally is designed to cover a percentage of your average income. But when the pandemic hit, the government released CERB, and that only provided $1,000, I think, every 2 weeks, and that wasn't enough for some of our team who are full time stylists. They're earning great money, and they have mortgages, they have dependents, they have kids, they have um, other commitments, they have car payments, and so another challenge was showing up to work and hearing those concerns,
yeah.
every so often, like, hey, this, like,
Yeah.
what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And it's pretty tough as a leader
Mhm.
to not have the answer and to tell them,
Mhm.
hang tight. Like that's not a
Yeah.
real answer, So that's
Well, yeah, I mean, you're facing it yourself as well, and it was so much uncertainty, like you couldn't possibly have an answer.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
challenge for sure.
Mhm. So anything, that has you can look back on now, it's been a year since last March, anything you can look back on and say, "This did change, and this is actually different or better or just different even."
Yeah, so I think in terms of fear and uncertainty, you always fear what you don't understand.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
after the first lockdown, when when the government implemented some grants for small businesses, that was definitely a relief that we took advantage of. And coming out of it, it was like, okay, this is manageable. The Alberta government, and maybe federally, I'm not sure, announced that we could have 50% capacity.
Mhm.
And so that was like, okay, I think we can make this work with 50%. The silver lining was so many people were working from home,
Mhm.
and that freed up a lot of their time during the day.
Mm.
And so I'll probably get in trouble for letting this out of the bag, but we would have people come to the salon to get their hair done with their laptop, and they'd log onto their platforms. They would do their work while they're getting foils in their hair, and that was quite interesting to see
Yeah.
people in the element. And a few times, my client would turn to me like, "I really got to take this call. Can you just give me like 10 or 15
Like,
minutes?"
hang on. Yeah.
Like, okay, sure, yeah, do what you got to do. So that was
Yeah.
kind of neat to experience because typically um, the sought after appointments are evenings and weekends.
Sure.
And now with reduced hours as well, closing at 7 p.m., like we don't take 6:30 highlights anymore, or big services late in the evening. And it's nice to have them done a little bit early on, and you make it work, right? And you do the best you can with what you got.
Yeah, interesting. There is always some little thing that comes out of it. So, hey, maybe there's a new opening for this sort of, daytime get your hair done and work scenario for you at the salon. So, how important you're in a mall? So,
Yeah.
different now. People don't tend to just go, browsing around and walk-ins as much as they used to back in the day, right? I would imagine this is a trend. So how important has marketing been to keep yourself relevant and top of mind and getting new business, essentially?
Yeah, I think uh, in today's age, nobody waltzes into a random business. I mean, certainly if they're just browsing and they're shopping and they've got some time to kill, they might. But
Maybe.
more often than not,
Mm-hmm.
like a restaurant, you're going to research.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to look their website up. You're going to look at the reviews. You're going to look at the menu. You want to get a taste of what you're getting yourself into before you get there.
Yeah.
And so that's for our business, our website, and our online footprint was sort of the face of our business before getting to our business, if that makes sense. And you have to have those things in check, and it's got to look good, and it has to have that representation of your business, and a fair representation, because you could have an amazing business providing outstanding service, but if your website doesn't look good, your reviews are okay, and you're not responding to your reviews, that's a big one. That can turn some people off. So you've got to refine those areas of your business to maximize the potential.
Yeah.
And I tried it. I tried building my own website for the salon, and it was a struggle. I tried Wix, I tried GoDaddy, and I even listened to some freelance marketers. Oh, I'll build you a website for $1,500, or I'll build you a website for $1,000. And that sounds all fine and great, but like, what happens when the website crashes? What happens when an image or a plugin doesn't work? Like, I don't want to worry about those things. And I was worrying about those things with those template sort of cookie cutter websites, and just got tired of it.
Yeah. No, it's a great point. I mean, this is essentially your 24/7 storefront, and it needs to work for you the way an old storefront did. And it needs to, I mean, it has such a broad reach. And you mentioned Google reviews. I don't purchase anything unknown for the first time, even the second time, without looking at the reviews. I just don't. We all do it now. So you're right. Get those Google reviews, respond to those reviews, and your site and your ecosystem, everything needs to be, communicating, and it needs to be current. There's nothing worse than, jumping on to check something out and the content is a year and a half old. I'm out. Like
That's right.
It's not credible to me. So StyleLabs has helped you map that all out, built you a great website. It's beautiful, and we'll put the link below so people can check it out, because it is a representation of what they can expect.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's going to help generate, generate business, and just have that, that 24/7 presence for you.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, good for you. What changed your mind to, you tried it yourself, probably to save a couple bucks?
Oh, of course. I think budget is always a factor in making those types of decisions. And I am a creative person. I know I have, some skill sets when it comes to online stuff, but I mean, it's another world. Like,
it's a beast. And you know what? I don't go to some rando for my hair. I go to an expert. So, go to an expert for, the marketing of your business, and then you can be creative in your zone of genius and do what you do best and what you love to do.
Yes. I really like how you said that, because it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to admit that there are things you don't know. And as much as we want to be an expert in all areas of our business, you just have to say, okay, this fight, maybe I can ask to get someone to help me fight it, and that's okay.
Yeah, maybe I can get an actual expert like I do when I go to the dentist, like I do for my accounting, like I do for my hair. I mean, hair's important. It is a big deal. So, and obviously you know that you're in a very successful business. So let's talk about that. What do you love most about what you do?
Oh, the craft. That's the easy part. The operation itself is an enormous task, day in and day out. And when I'm standing behind the chair, that's my like meditative time. My favorite thing to do is to cut hair, because I can go through a systematic process of developing a cut for someone. And I have a very sort of methodical approach when I cut hair. So when I get into that zone and it's quiet, I do like some quiet time when I'm cutting hair. And it's nice when I do have clients that come in and they might work with the public as well, and they tell me right off the bat, like, hey, I've had a really long day. I've seen X amount of people, and I'm really looking forward to this haircut. And if we could just save the conversation, that would be much appreciated. And I'm like, yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Seat.
Yeah, that's me for sure.
Yeah. And I love that, because it gives me an opportunity to just turn off, mentally or socially, we'll call it, and get into that sort of tranquil or piece of state
art.
Of mind. Yeah. That creative flow going, and it's a form of meditation for me, for sure.
Yeah. You know, this is the kind of people you want working on anything. This is the kind of person you want working on your hair. You care so much for it, and you're so passionate about it that you want to make sure that your state of mind is in such a zone that you're going to, create a masterpiece. So we're going to wrap it up in a couple more questions here, Kareem. So what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs that, have an idea or want to start a business, and particularly a family business, if that's something that they have on the wish list, on the horizon?
Yeah. In terms of a startup, if you have an idea and you believe in it, go for it, try it, find somebody who's done it, take notes, research. Like, information is abundant online, and you don't have to go take a course, 3-4 year long course. You don't have to do that. You can do your own research at home, and don't seek the approval of others, and don't don't try to find out or don't listen to if they believe that you deserve this opportunity or not, because that's none of your business if they think you deserve it or not. And take heed and focus, and you'll be surprised what you can come up with.
Yeah. Very great. Very good advice. It's funny how we do start to seek the opinions of others when really,
of course. And I think there's something.
They haven't done what you want to do. They haven't gone where you want to go. So that doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
And sometimes those people can be very close to us, right? And we respect their opinion. Yeah. And they may have heard from someone, so and so tried that and they failed. So they had a tremendous difficulty going through that. So be careful. And that's just fear. That's just it's not. It's real if you allow it to be real. But if you see past it, and it starts with mindset, and it starts with belief and in your vision. Yeah.
Go for it, and surround yourself with those that believe as well, and believe in your vision, and that, like you say, have gone there before, have done what you want to do. So, Kareem, where is the best place for people to find you? I know that I follow you on social, and I've seen some of your beautiful work. It's always inspiring to see. So, where can people find you? Where's the best place?
I'm on Instagram. My handle is Kassem_K. That's KASSEM_K. And I'm also on LinkedIn. I'm not as active on it because that's more for kind of corporate world. Maybe a little bit of service industry too, but I'm on there as well. But the best platform is definitely Instagram. Our website, I have some information about myself and some of my strengths on our website at dolce-salon.ca. And yeah, those are the two outlets that can be reached at.
Awesome. Well, we will also post those links below once we jump off the live here. And I want to thank you for coming into the office, taking the time out of your day to connect with us here today with your very successful and rare family business, Dolce Salon. So everyone go and book your daytime appointments with Kareem so you can get your work done and get your hair done. So thanks again for joining us today. And thanks everyone for tuning in. And we will see you next time with more inspiring people. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.